January 16th, 2019, I was diagnosed with postpartum depression, anxiety, and mood disorder. I left the hospital with that information with myself and my new baby, not knowing really what to do with it. The only remedy that the doctor offered me at the time was either a pill or continue to work through it. Not knowing that there were more options to go with, I continued to work through it alone. As I worked through this process alone, I started to look up information regarding depression and postpartum depression on my own. I found some very interesting information about depression itself and how postpartum depression is a common illness that plagues mothers after having children or plaguing them while during the pregnancy. I started to take some time and recall my own life. As I was recalling my own life, I started to think of the many different things and obstacles that I've been through in my life to the point that I've made up to this now, becoming a mother again with a second child. With not a lot of information and history and education behind me, I continue to seek for more information and resources regarding this illness. Didn't know what I was looking for and didn't know what I was going to find. I continued stumbling up cures and symptoms of how to combat this information. Again, a lot of information about pills and medicine, kept popping up. And I knew that was not a route that I needed to go because I had a very extensive history with addiction in my family, and I did not want to be plagued on pills. And I did not want to be another stigma of a person being addicted to mental health medication while trying to raise children. To me, that just felt like a functioning addict, and I did not want to subscribe to that. So I, again, continued doing my research and doing my homework about this disease. And what I learned out about this disease is depression was something that is caused by suppression, hence the word depressing things. So I started to really sit back as, I spent the time alone with my new baby, reflecting back on the different things in my life that I was learning and I have learned over the years becoming a mother. Because I was a young mother having my first child at 23, there was so much about the world that I did not know. I was just now becoming an adult, and I did not know about parenting or what it meant to be a healthy parent. All I know is I wanted to be a good mom. But I also did not want to continue losing so much of my own identity of whoever I was before I was a parent and being a parent. But learning over the time that actually some of that had to happen for me to continue being the person that I needed to be for my children. So as I continue to unravel and unpress or overpress or whatever the fancy word it is for me to unpack information about my own self, I learned that there were some things in history that I needed to heal before I continue adding things to my own children and how I wanted them to be into the world. As I continue unpacking those things, I learned that in order to unpack some things, I'm going to need some tools to learn how to do it. And therapy came up. And as I returned back to the doctor to continue getting my checkup, I spoke up and I said, is there an option for me to go to therapy? And surprisingly, there was. Though my healthcare was very poor, it still covered me seeing therapy as a new mom. Once I began seeing therapy as a new mother of two, for the first time ever sitting in a therapy office, the doctor pretty much asked me about me. She asked me about me and the wants and the dreams and the goals and the aspirations that I have for myself. And once I continued talking to her about that, though we had limited time together, our sessions were very brief, it still left me wondering and questioning more things that I wanted for myself, even if I didn't have the conversation with her. I would spend each week in my home just writing these things down on random things, random pieces of paper, and looking them up on my phone and whatever access to the internet that I had to be able to look up information. I began to enroll in school and continue with my credits and learning the things that I needed to learn to pass on to higher education, obtaining my bachelor's degree. Once I obtained my bachelor's degree, I thought that would just be enough for me being a mother, having a bachelor's degree. That was something that I was already breaking in my family. It was the first time for my lineage to be doing that, or my generation of folks to be having a bachelor's degree. I was the first of my kind. So already breaking that, I was learning that I was already breaking something called generational curses. Learning more about breaking different things in generational curses and unpacking things that needed to be healed, I started to have this gut feeling that I wanted more. And me wanting more sent me back into a further spiral of so-called depression. And as I was sitting in depression, I would sit on my phone and I would look up things on how to cure them without money. And the millions of things would come up with drawing and do art and journaling and writing. So I began to do those things and figured out how I can come out of that shell and come out of that hole that I was in by learning different techniques to do for myself as I would dream more, knowing that those dreams were far to obtain, but I still wanted to obtain them. Once I learned more different techniques, I learned about graduate school and I enrolled and I got in. I am now a marriage family therapy trainee, going to be a licensed marriage family therapist. I specialize in music, I specialize in art, and I'm learning to fine-tune my skills in drama therapy. I love to dance, I love to sing, I love to create different things from the world that helps me grow and helps me strive to obtain more things in my life. And as my journey continues on, I know that something in my life is meant to help change something in someone else's life. Though I know I am not perfect and I am not all the way healed, as I call myself the wounded healer. I'm continue growing, I'm continue evolving, I am continuously honing my skills for myself, for my family, and for my community. I'm able to provide my training through my license as a therapist to the world, and I'm able to connect with different people because I have the ability and the skills to connect with other folks just like me and folks that don't look like me, but they can relate. This is my story as it is continuing. This is only a chapter, and this chapter was called the postpartum depression.